There are more housing units being built downtown than in any other part of the city. The newest downtown neighbor is Whiskey Row Lofts, an $18 million project with bird's eye views of the arena and the Ohio River.
Two historic buildings on Main Street are being converted into a mixed-use project that includes apartments, condominiums, restaurants, and offices. Whiskey Row Lofts is an $18 million, 100,000 square foot project located adjacent to the new downtown arena. The complex is being developed by Bill Wayland of City Properties and Val and Stephen Jones, siblings who own the buildings.
When I was in college, this was one of the great entertainment streets. The bluegrass bands were down there. We used to come down here all the time. All that I expect to be revitalized because of this arena that's going to be next door.
Since the beginning, we have had one clear vision. That is an historic renovation that would create a mixed-use, 24-hour, pedestrian-friendly, vibrant downtown community.
The renovation project at 127 through 131 West Main Street will keep many of the building's original features.
We're very unique in this country today vis-a-vis other communities in terms of the kind of development that's occurring elsewhere.
So more money, more investment coming into downtown. Mayor, what does this say when you see more private dollars flowing into downtown development?
Well, you know, it creates a real opportunity. Number one, it creates jobs, all the construction work that's going to be done. Number two, it gives me an appreciation personally for the fact that we can have new buildings and we can refurbish the old buildings. So we have, I always use the term texture in our downtown. Unlike a place like Charlotte, for example, where everything was torn down and everything is glass and chrome and steel, you know, we've got wonderful folks who are making an investment, such as the Whiskey Row Lofts, that literally want to keep the facade and keep the old windows and create wonderful living space in a building that was probably built a century and a half ago. So it is a great commitment. We've got thousands of units in one stage or another in terms of the downtown, but it also creates a neighborhood. So now we're thinking about recycling. You know, how do those folks get the same kind of recycling opportunities that condos and apartments have in other locations? It creates a neighborhood association. It's part of the retail. You know, 40% of the expansion of 4th Street Live into the center city is going to be retail, focusing on what a neighborhood needs. So all those things come into play, and it's a very, very exciting time and a great commitment from the family, the Jones family, as well as others who are investing in existing buildings to refurbish them, while at the same time we're building a museum plaza, which is, you know, the newest of the new. It's an exciting time, and it creates texture in our downtown.
Well, speaking of texture, and I like that word to describe downtown because I think that's what people were thinking of when they named Main Street as one of the 10 best streets in the United States. Yeah, it is
so exciting. You know, for over 25 years we've worked on making West Main Street a very special destination. I can remember back in the 80s, in the early 90s, when we were focusing on the streetscape. If folks walk down West Main Street, they not only see the brick sidewalks, but they see the walking sticks that were made out of cast iron that create the tree wells, or the tree guards around the tree wells. And as you look at those walking sticks, you notice that the top of them is whatever the building was 100 plus years ago. So if the building 100 plus years ago was a hardware store, you see a faucet on the top of the walking stick. If the building were a hotel, you'll see a suitcase. If the building were, you know, those kinds of things go. There's a haberdasher. One of the buildings was a hat store, and there's hats on the top. The way we were able to bring in the public art along those streets, the lighting that we've done, and then look at what was attracted to West Main Street: the Science Center, the Slugger Museum, the Frazier, the Kentucky Arts and Crafts Museum, the Ali Center. You know, and it goes on and on. The Robert Stern, the Brown Forman folks that made their investment into Robert Stern, the great architect, came in and put 2 or 3 buildings together and refurbished it. So it's an exciting place, and for it to be selected after all these years of hard work to be one of the 10 greatest streets in America, with a little bit of public investment, an awful lot of private investment followed in those buildings. And what a special, special street it really is.
You've talked about this for some time, especially in the past few years, how we've seen how the public investment and the private investment go hand in hand, and how that can just blossom so much.
We try to spend a little bit of money to attract a lot of money. So we try to take taxpayers' money, and we might do a streetscape, or we might do the lighting if in fact it will attract private investment to take the buildings, refurbish them, take the boards off the windows, and provide a new venue or a new building, a new use for the citizens in the community. Same perfect example is what we did with the baseball park in the east part of Main Street. You know, it was a very, very difficult intersection at Preston and Main. But we made the commitment to invest in a baseball park. We, the taxpayers, built that park. People were saying to me, "You've lost your mind. Nobody's going to go locate there. No one's going to watch a ball game there." Well, not only did we not lose our mind, but there's $150 million of development all around it, just on the other intersection corners at the corner of Main and Preston, as a result of the private sector priming the pump with our investment in the baseball park. And oh, by the way, lots of families really enjoy the experience. So, you know, it takes a little bit of public money as an incentive to attract the kind of commitment that private business is willing to make. And we've been very successful in this community in doing just that.
Downtown, obviously a dynamic example of that. And another example of a dynamic community, the increase in bicycling in our city. We'll have some details on new ways to educate cyclists and drivers when we come back.